What started as a common diabetes medication has now become the hot celebrity drug.
Ozempic. It is literally the hottest drug in the country right now.
I've actually seen Elon Musk tweet about it.
Does that just curb your appetite? Is that what that stuff does?
So it basically makes you feel satiated. Essentially, like your compulsion to eat is like so dramatically hindered that you're way more likely to stick to a diet.
What I want to talk about today is Ozempic or semaglutide, which is a drug that makes people eat less.
Fighting out of Sacramento, California!
Woo! What's it gonna do?
Better. Stronger.
Son of a bitch.
Faster.
Oh, yeah!
What I want to talk about today is Ozempic or semaglutide, which is a drug that makes people eat less. And I want to actually talk about that for a little bit. And I want to talk about how we can compare that to some of these other protocols or even team up these protocols. I personally have never had such a profound change in my body than when I did carnivore the first time for the first 3 months. After 90 days, I looked amazing compared to what I looked like in the beginning. And then about a year after that, I looked the best I've ever looked, you know? And I wasn't even on TRT at the time. I had used some SARMs back then, which I also think are a tool that people overlook because they think they're really dangerous. But SARMs are used in the proper dosages. The dosages that are on the bottle have not been shown to be dangerous in any study. So if you're overdosing on SARMs and taking lots of them for long periods of time, there might be some problems. The only thing SARMs are going to do, like at a normal dose, that could be negative, is like they can lower your testosterone, but that's not always bad if we're eating good and we're on testosterone. If you're not on testosterone, it might not be the greatest idea. But we do see a lot of these, younger kids using them. I haven't seen that many problems with SARMs personally where people have not rebounded from them or anything. So I'm still very interested in SARMs, but I'm still very cautious. Like, I'm not recommending that anybody go out and do them. I like playing around. I like figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And SARMs were highly effective for me. And then more recently, I just tried semaglutide for about 6 months. So I tried semaglutide for 6 months, and I tried tirzepatide for about 3 months. They're both GLP agonists. What they do is they make your body feel full quicker. So you fill up quicker, you eat less over time. My issue with it personally was like I didn't have that much weight to lose, and I was walking 20,000 steps a day. And I started taking T3 as my doctor recommended. There's a lot of other factors also, but I did lose 30 pounds in that time period. So I can't say it didn't work, right? Like, there's no way I can say it didn't work. But I don't feel like I've seen people like my friend Wayne. Wayne lost 60 pounds in the same amount of time that I lost like 4 pounds, Obviously, I kept a lot of my muscle. I didn't lose muscle. The one thing I wanted to talk about is Dr. Peter Attia was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he said, people are using this drug, and we love Dr. Peter Attia. He was, one of the best podcasts Mark and I ever did was with him, and he's cautioning people that 34% of the weight that you lose on semaglutide, up to 34%, could be bone and muscle. And we don't want that. But here's my theory. If you weigh 400 pounds and we got you to lose 100 pounds and 30 pounds that was muscle and bone, I could probably live with that as long as I can get you back. It's like we can build that muscle back, but it's so hard for you to lose the weight like that I don't know. You have to balance these things out of like whether or not it's worth it.
All of these interventions for everything, whether it's TRT, whether it's Ozempic or semaglutide or whatever you want to call it, it's just like what your brother says.
Yeah.
If it's not fixing the behavior, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Right. But if that and if you have to get and listen, I have daddy issues. My dad had stomach surgery, and it makes me I've swore it off because I have my own emotional hangups. Right. But whatever it takes to include weight loss surgery, if that's going to help you drop 100 or 200 pounds, if that's what you need to do, who am I to say you shouldn't do it?
We have a friend, Eric Rosberg, who has made a phenomenal.
Amazing.
I mean, he's a jacked man now. He was a big fat guy, and he was like, he wasn't strong. Now he's a power lifter competing, at a high level, and he's jacked. Like, every time I see him, like, I can't believe this is the same guy. Because like even when he first came to us, he already kind of lost most of the weight.
He was on the road, right?
But he still had like a lot to go, and then he lost even more. But then he started getting big. I think he started. I think I can say this. He started adding a little testosterone, and that
he had a robust training program.
Well, look, if you add in
Protocol.
testosterone,
robust training
if you
protocol.
had a stomach stapling or whatever they call that, and then you lose all that weight, you're gonna look like a melted candle. So when you put some testosterone into your body, you start filling out with muscle, and it looks good.
Well, that's exactly the point, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that like every true former fatty deals with this, the loose skin.
Yeah.
Right. There's obese to beast, right? I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like a popular social media guy. I think he's like with Gymshark.
Yeah, I
and
know
all
who he
those.
is. Yeah.
I mean, like they say that loose skin is a trophy or scar, battle, battle, whatever.
Battle scar.
I'm not looking forward to loose skin, but in a way I am, because that means I've lost all this extra gosh darn weight.
It's
right?
interesting because there are people that lose excessive amounts of weight and do not have loose skin, and it's always attributed to fasting. And I don't know if there's any truth to it. I know there's people like Dr. Jason Fung who exaggerates a lot of stuff in a lot of his books. He's kind of a fiction doctor almost. For some things, but for other things, he's brilliant, so it's like hard to tell. So he says that he's never had a patient. He's had, hundreds of patients lose over 100 pounds. And he said because of what he does with fasting, that none of them have loose skin. I don't think that that's true. But if he's saying a large portion of them don't because of fasting, maybe it is true. I think that guy that they fasted down all that weight, remember he lost like 400 pounds. What was it, 400 pounds? The guy that fasted for he fasted for like 400 days.
I saw this one interview of a guy that was like some NASA scientist that said that he didn't eat for like almost a year.
There was a guy that didn't eat for a year and lost like 275 pounds or something crazy, right?
Right.
That's wild. I mean, you would definitely have to lose muscle, right? But these kind of diets are also muscle sparing. Like it kind of makes no sense. But when you don't eat, your body freaks out and protects it. It tries to hold on to the muscle. That's why if you only eat a little, you can still get fatty boom batty. And if you eat absolutely nothing, it seems to be a little different.
What's wild to me is I know there's a couple narratives going on. I mean, and as I was telling you today while we were working out, like as a society, we don't have a good track record with like weight loss pharmaceuticals, right?
There's no track record. There's Fen was pulled off the market.
Right.
Well, actually, the first drug that was for weight loss is DNP, which heats your core body temperature up a couple degrees, and you'll just be pouring out sweat. It's crazy. Yeah. It's like you take this and you become violently ill, and you sweat everything out, and you lose a pound of fat in a day. A pound of fat in a day. I swear to God.
That's wild. But so this seems to be like the first one that's pretty. It's not affecting you like just making you sweat all day long. This is affecting your appetite, right? It like for me, and I should be honest. I've been taking it, or I should be upfront with this. I've been taking it now. I off and on, but for like 8 months now, right? And it doesn't.
How much have you lost since you started taking it?
I mean, not a shit ton, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's as I don't think it's as effective as people are saying, but for some people, it's like they hit a home run with it. I don't know if it's the dosage. I don't know what's going on, but like, how did Wayne's has a very hard time losing weight. He trained with us for 2 years and he lost like 10 pounds, and he goes on semaglutide and loses 60 pounds, and he's doing jujitsu now, but that's all he's doing. He's not like lifting that much or anything like that. It's incredible that he was able to.
Jujitsu's got to be really calorically active,
yeah,
right?
Sure it is. But I mean, he's a big guy, so I don't know how much he's really moving, but like, it's insane to see results like that. So I say there are a lot of people that are against this drug. So right now there's a whole thing going on online about Ozempic ass. Have you heard of Ozempic ass?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying
Or
with the
Ozempic butt.
with the loose skin, right?
Yeah,
with the Ozempic ass, right?
So
exactly.
what happens is your gluteus maximus is the biggest muscle in the body, your glutes. And what happens is when they say semaglutide eats muscle, and then your butt sags. Now, I just talked to Mark about it, and you heard exactly. He got mad at me almost, right? Like, he gets mad at me for being the messenger. I'm like, hey, have you heard of Ozempic?
Because it's just such nonsense.
True.
So much nonsense.
It's smelly. He's like, it's not true. He was like, it doesn't do that. And I'm like, well, listen, because he's all for it because it can help people. Now, I'm all for it because it can help people too. My concern is that people let it become a crutch, and they take semaglutide and like keep eating the same same exact way. And the food, just because you're eating less of the same crappy foods, you're still going to have a lot of these autoimmune conditions and a lot of these other things that come along with that. Right. So I would use semaglutide as an opportunity to clean up a diet that's bad, to bring in all the good foods, to start pushing the other foods out. That way, if Ozempic goes away or it becomes illegal or whatever happens, you can just push it to the side and not worry about it.
As a person who's been taking it, it does not make you all of a sudden just want to eat chicken and brown rice.
No, here's the problem. The news media is scouring social media for news stories. Yeah. This is terrible. Yeah. This is a practice that's been going on for the past like 7 years. The only news you see on Yahoo News, besides like your main news about like Putin and whatever, and then you'll see under that, Kim Kardashian posts this on Instagram. And so there's like these news articles from like, you know, Kim Kardashian says she's on Ozempic and she lost 30 pounds, right? And then somebody else says, I'm on Ozempic and guess what? I stopped drinking alcohol and I was an alcoholic. And then it gets reported that that's what people are using this drug for, right? Like the way that it gets reported gets telephoned into a different message where now people are like, so they actually have done some studies with addiction in mice, I believe, and with semaglutide. It's very promising. Like that this may be an anti-addiction drug as well, which if it is, I think that's great. But I think that the way that I can see right through Big Pharma's marketing. Big Pharma's marketing goes right through the news journalists. And the way that it does is they tell the news journalists, hey, guess what? People are using this for alcohol dependence. Why don't you write an article about that? Wink, wink, right?
Right.
And then now it's being used off-label for alcohol dependence. That's kind of amazing marketing if you think about it. For me, I look at it as I have a lot of friends in the sober community that both help a lot of people and that are both struggling themselves, right? They're either in sobriety because they need to be there or they used to need to be there and now they're there to help people. And if we could get people if we could make it easier for the 23 hours a day that you're not in your AA meeting, for you to not crave alcohol, I am all for that, 1,000%. I think it should be covered by insurance if it works. I think it should be really easy to get if it works. But if it doesn't, then I don't want them to push it like that.
I guess though the only thing I was just really trying to say is like I do find that like endless hunger when I'm eating seems to be less.
Yeah.
But if I'm still just serving myself up soft tacos from Taco Bell, I'm not going to get anywhere, right? Maybe I'm eating one less soft taco from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
What I'm just trying to get to is like we still need to eat like protein. We still need to eat like healthy food.
Exactly.
We still need to like. That's really the only point I'm trying to get to.
My mindset is like I never cheat out of like, oh man, I messed up. I'm always conscious of it. I always know it. I always know what's going on. And the reason why I cheat is simple. It's boredom. It's the worst thing ever. It's like I'll be like, I don't want to sit here and do nothing. Like I'll go get something to eat. You know what I mean? Or I'll make something to eat. Right. And I do that a lot, but I don't really need it. You know what I mean? Like if I was trapped there by myself, I would be completely fine till the next day. And I eat because I have an abundance of food and I like it and I like to cook. So, to be honest, my least favorite thing to cook is steak. It's not fun, you know. It's like it's not I have to like watch it the whole time, you know.
I mean, that's the thing that you're really good at. Those you find in the kitchen what you enjoy making.
Yeah. Speaking of the kitchen, we have to go to the kitchen a little bit because we have new steak shake flavors that I wanted to tell people about too. We have banana cream, chocolate coconut, and cinnamon roll, which are all bomb. They have no artificial sweeteners or flavors, and they have they're made with liver, kidney, spleen, heart, pancreas, and beef protein, collagen protein, and they taste awesome.
I have to tell you, I'm zero bullshit behind this. This is literally the best protein powder I've ever had in my life. I'm not like a connoisseur. I haven't had every kind, but why I don't like protein powder and why I always buy those drinks is because I've never had a protein powder that dissolves fully in cold water. And you know me, I like my iced coffee in the morning. That's how I have my protein shakes. You made that yesterday in cold tap water.
Can I ask you a question?
No chalkiness at all.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
You are not a guy that makes an iced coffee and then dumps protein in it. Please tell me you're not. On top of the ice cubes?
I pour liquid protein, Premier Protein shake on it. And it has no chalkiness at all.
But if you were to take a cup and throw a scoop of protein in it. When the coffee's hot and mix it up, it'll all mix in, and then you throw in a bunch of ice cubes and then you're done. People do it the opposite way and it gets all clumped up to everything.
Well, I haven't found the right way to do it. I haven't found a way that works at all. And sometimes I'll make that cold brew coffee. Sometimes
You
I'll
can
have
never mix anything into anything with ice. It's always a disaster.
But that
So it's
stuff
gotta-
wasn't though. That's my point.
But that wasn't mixed with ice.
It was
either.
just cold water.
If I dumped ice, if I had put ice in that water and then dumped the powder on top in a blender, it'd be fine. But in a shaker cup, it'd come out clumpy.
Listen, I don't know what to tell you, man. I have just not had good luck with protein powder. Period. Just period.
It's all right. We got good.
It's always clumpy.
We got good protein powder now. We
It's
don't need
now
to worry
been
about
fixed.
it.
It's now been fixed.
You know,
literally no clumps at all, no chalkiness. The flavor was great, but it's never the flavor that turns me away. It's the clumpiness. There was none of that in there. It was perfect.
I think things need to be made easy. So we're talking about weight loss here. We're doing the 75 hard challenge, right? And it's like when I take cold cuts and I chop them all up and put them together and make like a salad sandwich basically, and it tastes amazing. Of course I'm going to stay on my diet. Like I made that up yesterday and I came in and ate it today. I'm like, this is awesome. Like I'm going to just make this a couple times a week. And then another day a week, maybe I'll make some chicken wings with pork panko on them. You know, another day of the week, maybe I'll make bacon jalapeno poppers. Like if you keep it fun, the diet's really fun. You don't have to eat steak and burgers every meal. You could eat at In-N-Out every meal if you wanted to. You just have to watch what the calories are. So there's no reason why you couldn't go to In-N-Out every meal and get, 2 or 3 Flying Dutchmen 3 times a day. You'd be fine, Yeah,
have you ever added up the calories to that? What is that?
So let's see.
One Flying Dutchman like 700 calories or something like that?
So 10 Flying Dutchmen would be 4,200 calories. Okay. So you start there. 10's too much.
Yeah.
What if I had like 7?
Okay.
And then you do the math and it's like 28 something. 7's about the sweet spot. You can have 7 and still but I honestly believe that if you stick to the carnivore world, you might have so say you go to In-N-Out every day. You might go in, you would never order 10 at a time, but let's just say you ordered 5 at a time twice a day. That's still kind of a lot of food. First of all, that's a ton of food.
That's a lot of food. So you're talking like 10 patties.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can get to that.
10 patties and like 10 slices of American cheese.
No, it's more than 10 patties. It's 20 patties because it's like double.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But so 10 is probably too much anyway, and 10's probably even too much to eat. But say you got 3 each time, 3 times a day. Now you're at 9. So 9 is still like 4,000 calories. It's probably still too much. However, I think you would go like 9, 7, 6 and stay at around 6 a day. You know what I mean? Like if that's what you were doing, you would end up eating a lot in the beginning to get used to it, and then you're like, I just can't eat that much. And then you start getting sick of it and going like, I got to go over to McDonald's now. And then you get sick of McDonald's, I go over to Wendy's now. But you can diet on fast food amazingly. I think I love calling it throwing away the bun because it makes people so mad. I'm like, I just throw the bun out the window. I always lie. Come on.
It's good for the birds.
Yeah,
the wildlife appreciate it.
But when you say I just throw away the bun, people get so mad because they're like, why don't you just order it without the bun? Why do you? I'm like, because they never get...
So wasteful, Boar.
I know, but I just kind of like to mess with people. I actually always order it without the bun, but sometimes I give it to you with the bun, and it's so hard not to be like, I asked you no bun, but it's not a big deal to take the bun off. But I just...
And you know what? I used to experience too, like embarrassment
over ordering. Fit shaming.
Ordering no bun. Like
fit shaming.
Being the fat guy going no bun.
I'm a huge believer in fit shaming, and I think everybody does it, and they sabotage themselves, and they sabotage
what do you mean?
Friends.
What do you mean?
When somebody's trying to get in shape, people make fun of them.
Yes, you're right.
People make fun of them. When people, what are you walking around all muscular, Mark? What do you think, it's a bodybuilding show? Like, don't you have any fun ever? What do you just lift weights all day? Like, no, you just don't do shit. That's your problem, And so people always, I've been fighting my entire life for the things I love. I've fought to be a meathead my whole life. I fought for people to accept it my entire life. And all I wanted, people to do is just agree with me that this is good for you. And now that we have all the science, nobody can disagree with me, so I end up winning, right? So
that's true.
Well, that was fun. We'll see how this 75 hard goes. Are you doing anything? You gonna ramp it up too a little bit here? You make sure you get all your shit in.
I mean, I've been doing my progress picture.
Why don't you ride your bike again?
Yeah, I need to because...
Ride your bike outside.
You're right.
10 minutes is a workout, Russell. This doesn't have to be 75 impossible. It has to be 75 hard.
Right.
So if you're not riding your bike every day and you do 10 minutes, that's riding your bike every day.
So the protocol is 2 45-minute workout.
45. So do 45 minutes of bike riding.
Yeah, and and I can and also I could say like, hey, I could stretch 5 or 10 minutes before and after too, because frankly I need to.
Just move around, man.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing, baby. I'm day 4 in.
Hottie wants to work out with you.
He
wants to get together and come and like hang out. And just go for walks with Hottie. He's fucking great. You have a great person to talk to.
I'm so glad I finally got to connect with that guy.
You know, he's got 600 kids, so he knows how to deal with all of it.
It's true. It's true.
Shout out to our boy Hottie. He just got a promotion at work. I want to congratulate him. If you guys don't know him, please go look him up and follow him. His name is The Carnivore Chef on Instagram. He's just an amazing, incredible human being. He was getting up at 4 o'clock every morning to unload semi-trucks for the past, 5 years since I've known him.
I mean, 10 total, I think.
And and now he's got a promotion where he's making way more money, has a desk job, and doesn't have to lift anything. So now he can lift in here a lot more.
Let's not forget, though, not only was he getting up at 4 o'clock every morning, then he would get off around 1, go grab his kids, pick his kids up from school, take his kids home, make his kids dinner, and then go hit the gym afterwards.
Yeah.
This dude.
And he's got a membership at Catharsis and was lifting at 2 a.m. because he had to lift before work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you go in before work? He goes, well, I can't after because I have the kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're really screwed, man.
That's why I told him, like, hey, dude, if we can find a way to, like, if you can get the A-OK from Andy to get me a key.
Yeah, we will. We'll get you a key.
Dude, then I'll just say, hey, let's go work out. Then, I mean, he loves the guy that owns Catharsis, but also, I mean, I know Hottie would benefit from saving $150 a month.
I really think that you two, like what I want to see you guys hanging out more because I love him and I love you. And I think that you guys together, like that kid, he was 420 pounds and now he weighs like 250.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And, and he's back on 75 hard to get back down to like 220 again.
He got down to 218 and he showed me 218 and he looked amazing.
Yeah.
And he looks great at 250.
His original weight loss, he got down to 187.
Yeah.
From 420.
I mean, right now he's walking around 245, 250 right now. He still looks, the guy is stacked. His arms, his shoulders are huge.
Yeah.
But he wants to get that. He wants to get that tight 218
all I
belly
gotta do
again.
to Hottie, all I gotta do to win him over is just walk up to him and be like, "Dude, your arms look huge today." Because he does have big arms, and he'll be like,
arms, dude.
He'll like almost cry, but like, you don't know how much it means to me, man, coming from you. And it's just so cool to have people in our lives that are appreciative of us, because I know I can say something simple to them and make them have a great day, so. All right, that's all we got for today. We will be back shortly. Sorry we had a little bit of a hiatus. There was a lot of stuff going on, but we are actually going to start cranking this podcast up to a completely different level. I will have Dr. Tony Huge on soon, and we may relaunch this and rebrand it a little bit with some other things that I have going on. We're not really sure yet, so for now we're just kicking it, being cool, chilling, making podcasts, but things will be a little bit more organized, planned out, and also a lot better in the near future, so stay tuned.